I started using ChatGPT almost 3 years ago when it first came out. And since then, lots has changed and I've made a lot of mistakes. So what I want to do in this video today is show you a cheat sheet of how I would approach ChatGPT if I was to start all over again today. We're going to start by creating an account with ChatGPT. I'm going to show you around the actual software itself and how it works. And I'm going to give you some of my best tips and tricks on how to get ahead of the game so that by the end of this video, you're totally equipped to become a pro at using ChatGPT.
Teaching the world what they need to know. This is your show, The Prompt Show.
This video is for anyone that wants to get better at using ChatGPT. You might be using it already in your day-to-day life. You might be using it to help you get more work done and be more productive. Or you might be just using it as a search engine to help you get more answers and maybe a sort of Google replacement. But then again, some of you who might be watching this may never have used ChatGPT at all. And this video is also for you because I'm going to start from the very beginning. I want to take you to the start of the journey and how you can approach ChatGPT, what it even is, and how to create your account for the very first time. So let's do that now. Here we are. So right now we're on openai.com. So OpenAI is the company that owns ChatGPT or runs ChatGPT. So think of it like the way Meta has Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and all these tools. OpenAI has ChatGPT as a product in its umbrella. So when we go onto the website, we can see that it kind of gives us an interface where we can put in a prompt, but this is just sort of like the main website of OpenAI, which you can sort of browse through and have a look at. But what we want to do is we actually want to go in and use ChatGPT. So again, on the website, you can find plenty of ideas of how to start using ChatGPT. It gives you screenshots of what to expect. So that might be a good place to look as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to go to login and ChatGPT. And now it allows you to quickly create an account and get started. So you can sign up if you don't have an account or log in. So if I want to sign up, it will ask you to log in and you can just log in using your email address or you can continue with a Google account. So I'm going to go ahead and create an account using my Google email address. So I'm going to use Omar at 5daysprint.com. We're going to log in. And this is what you will see for the first time when you access ChatGPT. Okay, so it just wants to know my name now. So Omar Choudhry. My birthday is 10th of June 1992. And in we go. So once you've created an account, you now have access to ChatGPT. Now, throughout the process, it will give you some prompts and instructions on how to use it. So you can feel free to use them and read them, but I'm just going to go straight into it and show you guys around. So this is the interface of ChatGPT, okay? So on the left-hand side here, we have a sidebar that you can toggle just using this icon here. And the sidebar has apps at the top. So these are apps that OpenAI have. So you have ChatGPT, which is where we are right now. And then we have an app called Sora, which is their video model. So basically a way for you to create videos by just putting a few words in, a simple prompt. But we won't go into Sora right now. If you want to explore that, you can feel free. Then we have a library. This is where all of your images that you might generate with ChatGPT will be stored. So once we actually start creating images, we'll see them over here. And then you have something called GPT. So it's a library over here, which has explored GPTs. So think of it like an app store, right? So these are sort of automations and tools that people have created that you can actually go and install and start doing things in ChatGPT using a lot of work that people have done previously to make your life a lot easier, right? So for example, if you're looking for some help with writing, you can just go over here to writing and you can see there's a app here that helps you create content that's human-like with AI. So you can just click on that and you can install it and you can start using that app, right? And you can read reviews about it and whatever else. And we have productivity tools, so how it can help you create Google Slides and presentations using ChatGPT. So these are some apps that you might want to throw yourself into, but that's there if it's something that you want to explore. But again, we're going to keep it super simple. We're going to go to ChatGPT just to start using it for the very first time. And so you can see here there's an icon that says new chat. So anytime you want to start a new chat, you can just click this icon and a new chat window opens. And so in the chat window, it's super simple. Over here in top right, you have an area which allows you to turn on temporary chat. So that's basically a chat that doesn't store any of the information. It won't store the chat inside your actual account. It will just be a quick, I think of it like incognito mode or private mode inside of your browser. Okay, so you can turn that on if you want to. Over here, we have a search box that's very similar to what we might do in Google. And then you can see a couple of icons here. So if you add here, you can add photos and files. So you can upload documents if you want to, and you can talk to ChatGPT about your documents. You get connected to your Google Drive or your Microsoft OneDrive. So you can connect documents that you might already have created in Google Drive and have a conversation about them. Maybe you can even get it to improve certain documents, maybe ask it to check over things, give you some more guidance, and that's the type of stuff that you can do in here as well. And over here with tools, you can see the type of things that you can do in ChatGPT. So you can create an image if you wanted to. You can use it to search the web. So it can actually go out and use the live web to be able to actually search and bring you back results. It can write things for you. So you might want it to help you write a document. You might want it to help you write a product requirements document. You might want it to help you write a business plan, a shopping list, or you might want it to code you something. Maybe you're looking for, a simple app that you want to code, and you can also ask it to do that. And then it can run some deep research for you. So deep research is a new feature which allows ChatGPT to kind of really do a deep analysis on a specific subject matter or idea that you want it to look at. And this has been very transformative for a lot of industries. And I think OpenAI are really focusing on advancing the medical space using this type of deep research technology, where you could probably find cures to diseases that we've never found before, probably find, new medical breakthroughs just by using tools like deep research. So it's super, super powerful. And you can ask it to think for longer. Then you have the audio function here, where you can just sort of talk to it and dictate what you want to say. And I'll just kind of type it in here. And then you have voice mode, where you can actually talk to ChatGPT and get a response from it in voice mode. So what we're going to start with is a simple process right now. So what I want to do is just show you the type of things that ChatGPT can do. So think of it like a conversation, right? So I'm going to say, hey, I'm using ChatGPT for the first time. What should I know? Hit enter. And so what you'll see now is super fast. It starts to actually come up with a response for you, okay? So it's just telling us, welcome, glad you're here. Using ChatGPT is pretty simple. Here's what you can do. I can help you answer questions about different topics. I can help you write. So some of the stuff that we just went through. And here it tells you a little bit about how it works. So you chat, I respond. The more clearly you phrase your questions or requests, the better I can help. You can also correct me or ask for a revision at any time. And then it gives you a couple of answers, examples of things that you could ask it. So, this is a fun one actually. Explain quantum physics like I'm 12. So if you wanted to go in here, you just type that in. And, let's say we want to change, instead of quantum physics, let's say explain human anatomy to me like I'm 12. Okay, cool. So it will just go ahead and explain that. So you can use this to maybe show your kids or help them learn a specific topic, but it just goes to show you the type of things that it can do. And it's incredible the type of output that you can get with ChatGPT. So this is the basics of just a chat interface. But what I really want to show you is what a prompt is, okay? So a prompt was basically how we started this message here. When I said, what should I know? I'm using ChatGPT for the first time. That's a prompt. So a message we're sending is effectively a prompt. But what's interesting is your prompts can be as elaborate as you want. They can be very extensive, very long, or they can be, something as simple as one word. You can really build out prompts that can help you do a lot of tasks. But what you want to start with is a goal, okay? So let's say we were starting a new chat. We want to have a goal in mind of what we're trying to achieve. So when you know the goal you want to achieve, you can start to speak to ChatGPT the way you just talk to anyone else. There's no perfect way of speaking to it. You don't have to say pleases and thank yous and be polite. You can just be yourself. So I can just go straight into it. I'm not even going to, do anything but speak to it the way I would normally speak, just chat away in my own language. So I'm going to say, hey, I'm trying to lose 5 kg over the next month. It's my friend, let's say, Ricky's wedding in July, and I need to make sure I'm in the best shape. So now I've told it my goal, okay? And then what I'm going to do is to start a new line. If I press enter, it's going to send the prompt. I'm going to press shift and enter to start a new line. And now I might give it some more context. So I might say, hey, I'm trying to lose 5 kg over the next 5 kg over the next month. I really struggle to cook. I eat takeouts a lot and I live in Dubai. So take that into account. So you're personalizing it now to ourselves. You can add some personalization. Again, shift, enter, enter. Feel free to ask me questions that would help you give me the best plan to achieve this. Okay, so then we're going to hit enter. So what you can see here in this prompt, this is what we call a prompt. I've given it a goal, so I'm trying to lose 5 kilos. I've told it by when, so I need to do by July. And then I've added some extra information in there just to personalize it a bit. I've told it, a bit about my lifestyle. I don't like to cook. I love to cook, but this is just hypothetical. I really struggle to cook. I eat takeouts a lot. I live in Dubai. And then we're asking it to ask us questions. Because it's conversational, we have to remember that this AI system, they're very intelligent. And so we want to give it the benefit of using its own intelligence. So instead of us saying, hey, I know everything, we want to say, hey, can you help me figure this out? So what you'll notice here is that not only did we get a response with some questions from ChatGPT, we also see this little bit here, which says updated saved memory. Okay. And so we're using a free version of ChatGPT right now. And if you go to a pro version, you'll be able to save a lot more memory. Now, memory is a very, very, very cool feature in ChatGPT. What memory does is it remembers things about you throughout your ChatGPT experience, which means that if I open up a new chat now, and let's say I do that, and I say, hey, whose wedding am I going to and when? You're going to a wedding in July, but you haven't told me whose wedding it is. Want to fill me in? That's so funny because I did actually tell it. So great goal. So I think it's saved. Okay, there you go. So in my memory, it's saved. Is trying to lose 5 kg before wedding in July. Struggles to cook and eats takeout often and lives in Dubai. Okay, so that makes sense. It saved that part, but I didn't save the fact that I thought it was Ricky's wedding. Okay, so let's say now I went to the memory and say, I also want you to remember that the name of the person's wedding I'm attending. He is one of my best friends. Then ask me questions one by one. So what you can do with ChatGPT is you can curate the experience to work for you. So this is where you start to personalize it based on how you interact. I might take those 5 questions. I find it overwhelming to answer 5 at once. I want it to ask me step by step, and that might be a better way of approaching it. So you can see how you can just have a conversation and get it to do what you want it to do. And I want it to save that information for me. So if I've asked it to save something, it will also go and update that saved memory. And so now in that memory, it's understood that he's attending their best friend Ricky's wedding in July. So now if I was to open a new chat and say, tell me whose wedding I'm attending and when, it says you're attending your best friend Ricky's wedding in July. So that's how memory works. So you can think of it now like this infinite storage of things about your life. And I'm going to show you something that we're going to do in a moment that can really take advantage of using memories. And I'll show you how I use ChatGPT as well in a moment. So let's say we went in here, we can now see that it's updated the memory and now it's asking us these questions in a step-by-step mode. Okay, so we can go ahead and do that and fill that out. And eventually we will get a plan for losing weight and losing 5 kg specifically, and that'll be personalized to us. So that's an example of how you could use ChatGPT as, let's say, a personal trainer. Okay. Now, what I want you to think about is what can we do when this thing really understands us, right? And so just to do some blue sky thinking right now, imagine a person, a friend, your spouse, having the amount of information they have about you already. They know tons of context about your life, but they only know so much as you're telling them, or they only know as much as, that they've experienced or seen with you. What if there's things that are very, very personal to you, things that you might not even share with the closest people around you, things that you're trying to figure out, problems you're trying to solve, directions you're trying to understand, and decisions you want to make in life. This is what ChatGPT is great for. And I use it like that. I use it as a personal, performance optimizer. And so I actually have a chat in my own ChatGPT where I've told it loads of context about my life, how many children I have, where I live, my preferences, and over time it's got to know me, and the memory bank that's built up for me is pretty extensive. And so now, having said that, I can go in and say, hey, I've really struggled to, be productive this week. Tell me how I can start next week off strong. And because it has a context of my life, it will know that I have school drop off. It will understand I have 3 children. It will know where I live. It will understand the type of things that I enjoy doing, the type of work I like doing. I'm more creative. And therefore it will give me a plan that will work for me. And that's how you want to build up ChatGPT for yourself. So instead of seeing it like just a Google search engine, think of it like this second brain in a sense. And it's very powerful in that way. And how you can do that, how you can start to build that is you'll open up a new chat and you'll say, I want you to get to know me in detail so that throughout my ChatGPT experience, you can personalize your responses to me specifically. Ask me 10 questions that can help you get to know me better, and then store that information in your memory. Okay, so this is a great way to start off using ChatGPT. So if you're using it for the first time, and if I was using it for the first time, this is how I would go about it. Okay, and so great, it's now going to ask me 10 questions. So what do you do for work or study? What are your main hobbies? Do you have any specific goals? What do your typical daily routine look like? Do you have dietary preferences? Are you more introvert, extroverted, or somewhere in between? And then you could even go even deeper and you can say, let's focus on question 8 for now. I want you to conduct a psychological analysis of me using, what's that framework? What's that personality test? Personality test. Was it Myers-Briggs? Using the Myers-Briggs personality test framework, I would like you to research to see if there are any better personality tests as well. Then conduct the test one step at a time, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll go to tools and I'll say search the web, because I actually want to search to see if there are any better personality tests, and I can hit run. And now you can see that it's searching the web. So it's doing the type of job that Google would do, but it's able to do it. And look how quickly it can do it. It can do it, but also give us a lot more context, personalized to us. So it's gone out there and it's found some information, it's given us reference to where it's found the information so we can go and read up about it, see it's looked at alternatives to Myers-Briggs personality test. And now it's actually can go ahead and conduct this for me. So here goes. Question 1 is, when you have free time, how do you prefer to spend it? Option A, engaging in social activities, attending events. Option B, enjoy social activities like reading, reflecting on spending time alone. So I could just type in now option B, or I could maybe explain something to it. So I'm not going to type in option B. I'm going to show you guys how you can utilize it. So I might go ahead and say, kind of option B. I like option B as far as I enjoy doing creative work on my own. But option A, as I like to spend time with friends, but only a couple times a week, or when there's a sports event on or something. So I can just respond like that. And so by saying that, I'm not necessarily I'm actually giving it more context again, and it can then, understand how to, go on with the personality test. And so it says you express qualities of ambivert. So over time now, it's going to get to know me better, and we can do this whole personality test, and they can ask me a second question that is right now. And so you can understand now how by doing this, ChatGPT will get to know me, and the memory bank that it builds up of me will be hyper contextualized to who I am. Okay. And so this is also an example of an iterative dialogue that you can have with ChatGPT. And so you can think about this in any context of your life. This can be in your career if you're solving a problem. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to get a promotion. Maybe you want to get it to, help you actually find a certain direction. So you can have a conversation with it. And that is where we take ChatGPT to the next level. So now another interesting way to use ChatGPT is to actually help it write documents and improve documents for you, or even just talk to it about a specific document. And so you can do this with images or PDFs. And so if I was to do this for the first time, I would open up a new chat, and I'm just going to show you what it looks like when I enter a new document into here. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to grab a PDF, which is this customer service potential improvement for one of my businesses. And I'm going to, first of all, say to it, what do you understand about this document? Give me your answer in a few bullet points. And I'm going to give my goal. I then want to work with you to improve this document. Okay? And then we just go ahead. It reads the document and it tells me quickly what it understands. So just recognize how quickly it does that. It's so incredible. So it understands that it's a customer service style, feed source. We talk about the different, tones and, information, how you want to handle information with people. And also, it then goes ahead and suggests some improvements for us. So, how we can improve things on phone line or aftercare or order updates. And so we can actually start chatting to it now and getting a much deeper understanding of how we can improve this specific document. And then I can go into my actual document and make those adjustments, or I can actually get it to rewrite things for me to make it applicable for my specific context. Now, what's interesting is we can see that we've hit a free plan limit with ChatGPT 4.0. Okay. And so it gives me a reset time. So it tells me after about 4 hours, I can start using it again. But what you can do if you want to overcome that is upgrade your plan. Okay. So if I was stuck here now, I would go to upgrade my plan, and you can see that you have different pricing tiers that you can use here. So you have the free plan, which is the one we're just on, or we can upgrade it to a plus plan, or we can use a pro plan. So I think a plus plan is pretty standard for most people, and it's pretty affordable. So I would go ahead and use a plus plan and then actually have access to ChatGPT over a much longer period of time, so it doesn't time out on us. And we could do a few more advanced things with it as well. So I'm going to jump into my pro version now so we can carry on using ChatGPT, and I'll show you a few more features of what you can expect. Okay, so here we are now in my ChatGPT Pro version. Okay, so if I was to upgrade now, I would have access to a few more interesting features. Now, what I want to show you guys up here is this little function here, which if you hover over it, you can see that you have something called models. Now, models are basically different versions of ChatGPT. So when ChatGPT first came out, it was using something called GPT-3. And since then, they've improved their models. They've had GPT 3.5 and now we're on GPT-4. And so over time, they're improving their models. The models are basically the underlying AI technology that we're interacting with. And so they get smarter and smarter, and they get better, and the responses get better as they introduce new models. So the newest model right now is ChatGPT 4.0 for most tasks. But if you actually want to go ahead and do some reasoning and actually questioning with ChatGPT to solve deeper problems, you want to use ChatGPT 0.3. And so if I click 0.3 right now, this is the newest model that ChatGPT have released. We can go ahead and say something like, I am trying to work out if I should homeschool my 4-year-old. I have no idea where to start, or even if this is a good idea. Help. You can have some fun with it if you want. And then we'll see that now using ChatGPT 0.3, which is a reasoning model, it actually starts to show you that it's thinking. And it shows you exactly what it's doing when it's thinking. So it's very interesting. You can actually see what's going on as it's thinking about it. It shows you what's going on. You can expand it and actually see the process it's going through. And so it's trying to actually understand, the context of what we're saying. Obviously, because it has a lot of context on me, it knows that I live in Dubai. So it's looking for homeschooling regulations in Dubai, which is great. So you can see now as it starts to understand you over time, even when you give it simple prompts, it will know exactly how to give you the answer because it takes into account the total memory of your life. So it has your context. Okay. So it's going to go ahead and think about this, and then it will give me an answer. And so this is what we call reasoning. Okay. So it's going ahead and doing some advanced reasoning here. So first, pressure-free reality check. Ask yourself. So now it actually gives me a mental model of, how I want to think about this. Can we commit daily time and energy? A 4-year-old needs lots of hands-on guidance. How we handle socialization. You want regular play dates and co-ops and clubs. Legal and administrative nuts and bolts. So we have this information here. Educational approaches, starter toolkit, so it gives me a whole thing. It gives me actual, specific plan on how to actually go about this, which is brilliant. Like how to structure my day, loads of things, give me pros and cons. As you can think of right now, it's actually kind of helping me figure this out. And so this leads me over to the next part of your ChatGPT that I want to show you guys, which is using it to actually help share different perspectives with you. Almost, you can ask it to be a devil's advocate. You ask it to help you think about things in a different way. So now I'll go into it and I'll say, if you were in my shoes, knowing that I work, part-time for argument's sake, what would be what would be your expert advice or perspective? And then you can go ahead and let it give you some, different points of view. And I think this is particularly interesting because just as humans on a day-to-day basis, we can tend to be shy to ask someone for a different point of view, or we might not know how to go about it. But for me, ChatGPT acts as sort of this personalized, private space where I can ask it information and, get different perspectives and different viewpoints, and it kind of augments what I might be able to get from other people, but, through this type of interface. So I find it really, really interesting for that. And now we can see that it's giving us different perspectives it can share. So it's telling us about time, how we build a work and learning rhythm. So maybe not a 9 p.m., 3 p.m. Replica. And then it goes into that sort of process of what practical way of doing this is. And again, very, very, very useful information here that I can read through, I can understand. I might be able to even print this out, sit with my spouse. And I can even say to it now, okay, now create a PDF document for me, weighing up the pros and cons so I can go through it with my wife, keep it less than 3 pages, as we'll only have, 30 minutes to look over it tonight. Right? And I can hit enter. And ChatGPT is brilliant at also creating documents. So it can go ahead and actually create an entire document that you can go ahead and download. So we'll go ahead now and hopefully create me a document that is useful to me and actually can use this evening if I want to speak to this topic with my wife. And as you can hear, that's the kids in the background. See, it's gone through that process now. It's analyzed what I've asked it to do. And hopefully any moment we should be able to actually get a document created for us. And if we do, that would be fantastic. And now while it's doing that, what I want to also show you is that in this panel over here, you can see that I use ChatGPT on a day-to-day basis. So I have different projects that I've set up for things that I do regularly. So one of those is a folder here called Personal. So inside Personal, I have the Optimal Performance Coach that I told you guys about. And I also have the Prompt Show Producer, which is something that I use to actually produce this very show that I'm doing with you guys on YouTube right now. And so when you go to the Pro feature, you can actually create different folders of projects. And inside those folders, you can add different chats. So you can come back to those chats and carry on speaking about a specific topic. That's why I have one that's called my Personal Coach to optimize my performance, so that I actually use it like that. I can go in there and say to it that, hey, this is what I'm trying to do today. And it has a whole history of my context of ChatGPT and that specific chat. And it acts as that specific role for me when I need it. Okay, now back to our PDF request. Here we go. It says under 3 pages, ideal for a 30-minute chat. So I'm gonna hit download now. And instantly I have a file downloaded, which is this PDF document. And if I open that up, there we go. Homeschooling our 4-year-old, pros, cons, and hybrid path. So quick snapshot, pros versus cons. Cost snapshot. So it gives us the whole breakdown, does some research for us. It shows us what type of rhythm would work for us, what type of support networks exist. So it's giving us a WhatsApp group we can maybe use. Then a checklist that we might want to look out for as well. And it kind of becomes this like cute little document that I can go through with my wife. Now, what I do find in it is that there's some information that seems to be have these kind of blotches in it, which I don't know why they're there. And it has some brackets here, almost like it's writing code. So I'm not too happy with that. So here's another thing you can do with ChatGPT. You can go ahead and screenshot something and then tell it to improve something for you. So I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to press Command, Shift, and 4, which allows me to then screenshot a part of this page like that. I can then go into ChatGPT and I can drop this file in here as an image. And I can say to it, the document seems to have some errors with these black square blotches and some code tags. I need that fixed. And I can hit enter. And so you give it feedback and it can go ahead and improve that for you. So that's a very good way of working with it and an important way of working with it, which is iterating your way along. You don't have to have the perfect prompt to start with. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just want to go in there and start talking to it. And as you're talking to it, be able to get to that kind of perfect output you're looking for. And it's kind of conversational. You work through it. And you can give it screenshots like we just have. And we've told it to update our document. So now we're going to wait. And we're going to see if it actually fixes those errors for us in the PDF document and then recreates the document for us. Okay, so it's created an updated PDF for us. So we can download the updated PDF. And let's see if it's actually fixed these problems. Okay, so it's fixed the coding part. I still don't know why it's got the black kind of blots in it. I wonder what those are actually. But it's at least fixed the coding part of it. But we can go back to it and say to it, what are these black squares and how comes you can't fix it? Okay, so you can go back again, ask it to revise that again, and you can, see what it does. Okay, so it's telling us that these black squares are coming from a special non-breaking hyphen character that Helvetica can't render, so it shows a fallback box. I've placed all of them with standard hyphens. You should see a clean version here. Okay, let's open this up and let's see if we're third time lucky with the document. And we are. There we go. So now we fixed the document. We got rid of those code tags we were seeing in there. And it's fixed those black blocks we were seeing with normal hyphens because it's telling us that the problem was with hyphens. So there we go. Now we have a document that I can go ahead and print out based on real research, based on the context of my own life that ChatGPT has created for me. And again, if I wanted to, I can iterate it, I can give it more feedback, I can ask it to change specific things, and it can go ahead and do that. And so these are just a few examples of how you can use ChatGPT, from very basic questions of helping you understand a simple concept like, human biology as a 12-year-old, which you can do with your kids, or a concept they're trying to learn about yourself, or something advanced as doing deep research using the O3 model and getting it to create documents for you in the type of context and format that you require, personalized to your own life. It's truly incredible. And this is just scratching the surface of the type of things that are possible. But if I was to start using ChatGPT for the first time today, these are the things that I would do. These are the things that took me a long time to figure out. And now that I know how to do them, it's only right that I share them with you. So I hope this has been helpful to you. And I can't wait to see what you guys do with ChatGPT. Until next time, see you later.
Teaching the world what they need to know. This is your show, The Prompt Show.